What's up, guys? I hope y'all are having a great day today. I know I am, dude, and honestly, I'm just looking forward to making this video. Like, YouTube recently has been a lot of fun. There's been so many dumb takes to make fun of here on this channel, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing here today, because we are going to be revisiting one of my personal favorite PlayStation fanboy channels. Sorry, man, I always get a little bit confused on that one, but anyway, we are going to be taking a look at a video from the man, the myth, the legend himself, Crapgamer. Now, as I'm sure most of you are all aware, Crapgamer used to be the biggest Xbox fanboy on YouTube for like probably 5 or 6 years, bro, until like overnight, I think back in like 2018 or 2019, he just decided, you know what, I'm not getting enough views making Xbox content anymore after the Xbox One X came out, and I hyped that shit up for like 2 years, and you know, it kind of flopped. You know, I got to switch over to PlayStation content to keep that view count up and chase the bag, bro, which, you know, I kind of respect, to be honest, because the people in the console wars community aren't exactly too intelligent. It doesn't matter what side of the coin you're on, all right? You know, if you're a PlayStation fanboy, if you're an Xbox fanboy, you're typically not too intelligent, because the same people that hated Crapgamer when he was an Xbox fanboy are now some of his biggest fans because he dick rides PlayStation. Like, it just really shows you the intelligence level and how quickly they forget. As long as you're telling them what they want to hear, that's all they care about. Just don't be a fanboy. It's okay to be a fan of a platform, but when you start acting like the person we're going to take a look at here today, you're really doing something wrong with your life. But anyway, guys, the title of the video we are going to be taking a look at here is Sony-owned dev accidentally leaks PS5 specs that have fanboys going crazy. Microsoft got played. Now, in typical Crapgamer fashion, the title of the video has absolutely nothing to do with what he's actually talking about. And, well, the actual topic of this video is literally him hyping up the PlayStation 5 SSD. That's right, guys, the almighty SSD, the one that's going to cure cancer, dude, the one that's going to give you unlimited frames per second, an 8K resolution in every single video game you ever play, the SSD that is more powerful than any PC on the market right now, dude. Yeah, that SSD. So I think that's enough said, guys. You know, this is more than enough intro here. I kind of drew this shit out a little bit too long. Apologies for that. But without further ado, man, let's go ahead and check out this absolutely amazing YouTube video from my good buddy, Crapgamer.
Unscripted.
I don't really know why this man feels the need to have unscripted gaming content at the beginning of every single video, bro. We get it. You don't use a script, dude. It's really not that big of an accomplishment. I'm not using a script for this video either, but you don't see me flexing it in my intro of every single YouTube video. Maybe this is like some desperate grasp on credibility for Crapgamer. He's like, look, dude, I'm being honest about what my videos are. Maybe people won't just think I'm a disingenuous piece of shit.
What an interesting day for anybody looking to get a next-generation console. We got lots of news about the PlayStation 5. We also got lots of news about the Xbox Series X. And within getting that Xbox Series X news, I gotta tell you, it makes the PlayStation 5 look that much better.
Dude, I just could never imagine a situation where someone like Crapgamer could take some good news about the Xbox and somehow find a way to spin that shit and use that to try and say that the PlayStation 5 is somehow better than the Xbox Series X. Like, it even fucking matters, dude. Why can't we just have good news and be like, yeah, that's great news for Xbox, the PlayStation's looking good as well. Like, it's really fucking cringe to me when these console fanboys go like, take this one particular aspect and this is why the other console is completely fucking irrelevant, dude. The PlayStation 5 fanboys do it with the SSD and exclusives, and the Xbox fanboys do it with the extra 2 teraflops on the Xbox Series X, bro. Like, it's completely fucking cringe.
You know, I was actually kind of disappointed with some of the things that were actually revealed in terms of the Xbox Series X.
Wow, dude, didn't see that one fucking coming.
And it makes the PlayStation 5 all the sweeter sounding, and also gives PlayStation 5 advantages where people all just assumed that the Xbox Series X was going to have all the advantages in the world over it, and now we know completely that's not the case. And it gets me very excited to talk about that because, again, shutting out these narratives is a quick way to make people kind of realize that, you know, not all these sites, not all these YouTubers, not all these fanboys know what they're talking about.
I mean, Crap, I kind of find this very ironic that you're trying to call out fanboys and YouTubers for not knowing what they're talking about when you're one of the biggest demonstrations of that on this entire fucking website, dude. Like, the self-awareness is in the negatives, just like the sales numbers of fucking Crackdown 3. Like, why the fuck is he playing this shit? Bro, I remember when the Xbox fanboys were hyping up Crackdown 3, Crapgamer was one of them, by the way, and that game was complete fucking shit, dude. I didn't even try it. It looks so bad, man. But, you know, I guess he's one of the 15 people that downloaded this shit off Game Pass.
And listen, I can be the first to admit I don't always know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I could be wrong.
Yeah, Crap, I think the better way to say that is most of the time, because Crapgamer is the perfect example of the mentality of throwing enough shit against the wall and hoping that something sticks, because what these fanboy channels do is they just throw out a bunch of random shit, bro. Rumors, leaks, exclusive information, all this shit, in the hopes that one thing they say is proven right, because if that one thing is proven right, they can always go back to that one example and be like, well, see, I was right about this, so obviously I know what I'm talking about, dude. I have this great insider knowledge about the inside workings of Microsoft and Sony, and well, Crapgamer is like the perfect example of this mentality.
That's life. That's being a human. Welcome to it. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to admit those faults, and you got to be able to go out there and go, hey, well, I might have been wrong about this, but now we can see that I was actually right about this. Look, people are quick to point out when I'm wrong, and I love it, right? I have no problems with it. But if you're going to point out when I'm wrong about something, make sure you point out when I'm right about something too, right? Let's not have that double standard. Keep that same energy, even though I hate that saying.
I mean, lucky for us, though, we don't have to keep that same energy very often because you don't really give us many opportunities to do so. Like I said, this dude's channel operates on the shit-flinging mentality. Like, literally, if one video out of every 100 is accurate, that's how his entire business model works. And on top of that, dude, like, you know, I'm gonna sound like a fucking boomer here with this reference, but it's like this old phrase, a broken clock is still right twice a day. And you know what, Crap? That's literally what you are, so I'm not gonna give you any fucking credit.
I do have to say you got to keep that same energy. Now, when it comes to what we actually saw from the Xbox Series X, there was a couple of interesting things to note that does give PlayStation 5 an advantage. So the solid-state drive is only 802 gigabytes of usable space on the Xbox Series X, which means, obviously, they're using pretty close to 200 gigs for the OS, and a lot of that is for the backwards compatibility things and different technologies like that. So keep that same energy.
I mean, to use your own words, dude, where's that same energy for the PlayStation 5, dude? Because if there's only 800 gigabytes, like 200 are missing from the full 1 terabyte hard drive in the Xbox Series X, what about the 800 gigabyte hard drive inside of the PlayStation 5? Now, this is where it gets interesting. So if 200 are missing from the Xbox, we can reasonably assume about the same will be missing from the PlayStation 5. So that means you're going to have about 600 gigabytes to work with on the PlayStation 5 and about 800 to work with on the Xbox. In what fucking world is that an advantage for the PlayStation 5? The mental gymnastics that have to take place for you to come up with that conclusion is absolutely astounding.
So you have to wonder, is the Xbox Series S going to also utilize almost 200 gigs of space for that? If so, you're looking at only round about 300 gigs of free memory space on that console. Ouch.
I mean, possibly, but typically the smaller the hard drive, the smaller the formatting required. I mean, that's how it typically works. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not going to say, but either way, dude, it's an SSD in a $300 console. That's pretty fucking insane no matter how you look at it.
Okay, they said that the console is very quiet, as it should be. Quick resume between multiple games around take about 5 to 8 seconds. A new controller is, you know, slight improvement. But also they were talking about, obviously, some of the big things with it. We saw quite a bit of load time differences, right? So this is kind of why I wanted to talk about it.
I mean, what do you guys think is going to happen here? Do you think he's going to be impressed? Do you think he's going to be disappointed? I'm kind of leaning more one way versus the other. You know, call it my expert opinion, but I have a feeling he's not going to be too impressed, dude. I mean, I know it may sound a little bit skeptical, but just hear me out, man. I don't really think Crapgamer is the biggest fan of Xbox anymore, dude. I don't think he really likes it, but overall, I will say I watched the Digital Foundry video on these load time tests. They were very impressed. I was very impressed. It is really cool to see these improvements in old Xbox One games. Like, I already know I'm going to go back and play Final Fantasy 15. Like, that game was running at like a locked 60 FPS, and plus I still have my save file on Xbox, which is like 100% complete, so I may go back to that one. But, you know, our buddy here, Crap, he's not going to be too impressed whatsoever.
The load times were super interesting to me because that's what I was most disappointed in with the Xbox Series X.
Shocker.
I was very surprised that the load times were, in fact, not as impressive as I originally thought. And this bodes well for Sony. And the reason why it bodes well for Sony is because Sony has a faster solution for their actual load times and things like that. So I did find this to be pretty interesting. a couple of sites ran with various different times for the games and stuff on the Xbox Series X, but I'll give you an example, okay? Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox One X is 1 minute 35 seconds to load. It's 52 seconds on the Xbox Series X.
Only a fanboy could take a 50% reduction almost in load times and say, this is awful, dude. How dare Microsoft try to sell us this console that improves the load times of video games that weren't even optimized for the hardware I'm playing it on right now. I mean, how could they do this to us, dude? They're improving the experience on the entire back catalog of Xbox One games just through the brute force of the SSD. I mean, honestly, dude, this thing sounds like a ripoff. Thank you so much, Crapgamer, for opening up my eyes here. I'm definitely going to buy a PlayStation 5 instead. Oh, wait. I already have 2 pre-ordered, which, you know, I already know there's going to be people in the comments calling me an Xbox fanboy, but I guarantee you, I have more PlayStation 5s pre-ordered than you do. Let that one sink in.
Evil Within 2, 43 seconds on Xbox One X, 33 seconds on Xbox Series X. There were some pretty good ones, though, but one of the worst ones was No Man's Sky, which took 2 minutes 13 seconds on Xbox One X, 1 minute 27 seconds on the Series X.
I mean, I just really love how fucking disingenuous this dude is. He's like, yeah, there were some really good examples of some really nice reductions, but I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to cherry pick the worst example I can possibly find, and even then it's still close to a 50% reduction in load times with no software or hardware optimization. So unlucky as fuck, bro. Like, you're literally playing yourself at this point. But this is what I mean, dude. These fanboys are not too intelligent, and they're just desperate to try and, like, get one up on the other fucking piece of plastic, bro. Like, it is actually sad. Like, these are grown fucking men, too. It's not like kids doing this shit. It's men in their 30s and 40s arguing over the internet about which piece of plastic is actually fucking better, dude. Like, in all honesty, I probably get way more entertainment laughing at these motherfuckers than I probably ever will from the consoles themselves, and that's just the reality here. So console fanboys, keep it up. I believe in you, man. Keep fighting that good fight.
Stuff like Warframe did load in 25 seconds as opposed to 1 minute 31 seconds on the Xbox One X, and Sea of Thieves loaded in 20 seconds instead of 1 minute 21 seconds. So significant cut down there, but mixed results to say the least, which was, I thought, very interesting because we all know that the PlayStation 5 went with a much significantly faster hard drive, and again, I think that's going to pay off for a lot of people in what we're going to see coming from next generation.
Yeah, I'm calling it right now. There's not going to be that big of a difference because, you know, if you actually have an SSD, which I have 2 different types of SSDs, I have an 860 EVO and I have a 970 EVO. The 970 EVO is significantly faster, and you're maybe talking like 1 or 2 seconds difference. Like, once you get to a certain point on an SSD, load times do not drastically change that much. But, you know, whatever, man. I'm just going out on a limb here. This is my personal prediction. I don't really think it's going to be that big of a difference because, honestly, these games made for the Xbox One and PS4 were not designed to boot off of an SSD. Now, if the game is developed to do that, then you're going to see much better results. But until that actually happens, this is really impressive in my opinion. The fact that it's reducing it this significantly with 0 optimization whatsoever is a really nice feature. It's a great quality of life improvement that's really like something you wouldn't even really expect because you're like, okay, it's backwards compatible. It's going to be the exact same experience I'm used to, but it's just a little bit better in that regard. So I don't know. I could view this as nothing but a positive, but of course, man, we got to spin this shit. There can't be anything considered good news in the console wars.
Also, what you want to point out is Microsoft took a lot for the OS for this current generation as well. Sony didn't. Sony only took around 90 gigs. You might see something similar to that, but it does make the hard drive on the PlayStation 5 a little bit more user-friendly than people were actually originally paying attention to it to.
All right, let's just say that is true, but you're still talking about 700 gigabytes on the PlayStation 5 versus 800 on the Xbox Series X. In no way is this an advantage for Sony. You cannot spin this shit no matter how hard you try. Numbers don't lie, bro.
We also got news that stuff like Spider-Man Miles Morales actually is lesser file size on the PlayStation 5 than the PS4, thankfully, so maybe these games won't be taking up as much space as originally thought. So according to the store listing, Miles Morales PS5 weighs in at 50 gigabytes, while the PS4 version clocks in at 52 gigabytes.
Holy shit, dude. What a massive difference. 2 gigabytes? I mean, forget it, dude. I'm canceling my Xbox pre-order right now. Like, this is insane news, guys. 2 gigabytes smaller? I mean, Microsoft, Phil Spencer, you better just go ahead and call it quits while you can, dude. Save your dignity, because there's no way you can recover from news like this.
So it's not a huge saving thing right now. But I do want to say, once we're involved with like the oodle and stuff like that, those textures and the functionality with that, we will be able to see some much lesser file sizes and things like that, because I think that's going to be one of the reasons why they're utilizing it.
Listening to this guy try to explain technology is like listening to a kindergartner trying to explain like calculus. Like, it's honestly pretty fucking sad, dude. I mean, considering the gameplay too, like, I'm gonna make a really shitty pun here, but stay in your lane, bro. All right, so this is future me here. I just listened to this shit back and that was really fucking cringe.
We also saw Demon Souls recent gameplay, which was running at 1440p and 60 frames per second. Apparently there's going to be two modes, a 4K 30 and a 1440p 60 frames per second.
And I kind of find it ironic, to be honest, because the previous video that I made on this dude was literally about this topic. Like, he was trying to claim that Demon Souls would be running at 4K 60 on the PS5, and look what we have right here, dude. I guess it can't handle 4K 60 after all.
Both apparently, according to developer, running with ray tracing, so that should be something that's interesting. Now, this is a little bit where I felt like there was a little bit of hypocrisy between a lot of the Xbox fanboys.
But of course, there's no problem with the hypocrisy in your previous video on this exact same topic, dude. You really just love to see it.
Because they're going, it's only running 1440p. But then they were hyping up the Series S, which taps out at 1440p and probably will run games much less than that. And to be quite honest, even though I'm no Souls fan, Demon Souls looks better graphically than anything we've seen coming from Xbox.
I mean, in all fairness, that is true. Like, Demon Souls is the best looking game I've seen in a very long time, and obviously it's better than anything Xbox has shown, because Xbox hasn't shown shit. You know, I'll keep it 100 with that. Like, I'm not trying to fucking front here and be like, oh dude, the Xbox is infinitely better. No, PlayStation has actually shown shit. Xbox hasn't. I've said this in the past as well, but what I find very funny is he's trying to compare a $300 budget console to a $500 PlayStation 5. Maybe it's just me, but that doesn't really seem like the best comparison, to be honest. Maybe we should talk about the Series X versus the PlayStation 5, since, you know, they're kind of in the same price range.
So I find it a little bit odd that people are mocking that, and it just goes to prove that what I've been saying all along is we're getting better picture quality than we have ever before. If you want to talk about it, that at 1440p versus Halo Infinite and Craig at 4K, which one would you rather play, right? If both are 60 frames, would you rather have the graphical fidelity of a Demon Souls, or would you rather have the graphical fidelity of plastic-looking Halo figurines?
I mean, I completely agree, dude. I would rather them prioritize the texture quality and frame rate over resolution any day. 4K is a dumbass buzzword, in my opinion. I don't think it matters whatsoever. Like, sure, you're going to get a clearer picture quality, but it does not equal graphics. You can have completely shitty graphics running at 4K. The game's still going to look like shit. So, personally, I agree 100%, but the problem is with people like you, Crap, is the consistency is not there, because literally back when the Xbox One X was coming out, you're the motherfucker that coined the phrase 4K makes you a better gamer. And if you don't believe me, dude, listen to the man himself.
Obviously, native 4K is going to help you become a better gamer. So I think if you're one of those gamers that wants to be a better gamer, and we all want a GG, right? Like, let's be honest. We all want a GG. And I think that native 4K allows us to do that. And why it does that is because the picture is clearer, obviously. You're going to have better performance, which is going to help you become a better gamer as well. And I think that as far as, you know, just being able to see things better, crisper images, clearer images, more pixel counts. The higher the pixel count, obviously, the better you're going to be able to see and react. Like, let's say you're playing a shooter game or whatever, like Call of Duty, right? And you're playing in native 4K. You're going to be able to see things clearer that somebody that's playing, you know, at 1080p wouldn't be able to pick up on.
I mean, Crap, is this what you meant when you said we need to keep that same energy, bro? Like, where the fuck is this shit gone?
Keep that same energy. I don't think that's a very difficult decision. So a lot of fanboys, hey, sit down, take a seat. You don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, I really love that shit coming from you, Crap. Like, of all people, you really have no right to speak.
at the end of the day, Demon's Souls is by far the most graphically impressive next-generation game we've seen, and if you don't think that the Xbox Series X is going to play any games at 1440p or give you an option to play with performance over resolution, then you're going to be in for a huge disappointment.
What type of mouth-breathing Neanderthal would actually be pissed off over being able to prioritize frame rate over resolution? Oh wait, I forgot there's people like Crapgamer out there who thinks 4K makes them a better gamer.
Keep that same energy. I would point out at the medium, first of all, a little AA indie game that is 30 frames per second, and there's not even any combat in that game. Okay, that's your big next-gen, quote-unquote, big launch game. It's not even a launch game, by the way, but that's a game that people talk about, oh, I'm going to get an Xbox to play the medium. You know, it's a AA multi-plat. First of all, it's a timed exclusive.
Hey, man, you didn't hear it from me, but so is Demon's Souls. That game's coming to PC within 2 years. Mark my words. You don't have coming to PC on the fucking trailer at your launch event on accident. Sorry, that shit doesn't happen.
Second of all, it's not impressive looking. Third of all, it's only 30 frames per second. Like, should we sit there and mock that and go, well, that's the future of Xbox Series X? No, I mean, listen, if you're into that type of game and you think that game looks great, that's fine. But the hypocrisy of seeing so many people talk about Demon's Souls and then try to compare the Xbox Series S to the PS5. The PS5 is more than twice the power of the Xbox Series S.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If people are genuinely trying to compare those two consoles, they're fucking retarded, and you probably shouldn't even give them the time of day. You know, problem solved right there.
The PS5 has way more storage when it's all said and done than the Xbox Series S, and it has more memory in general. It's just a much more powerful machine.
Yes, if a console has more storage, it also has more memory. Good job, Crap. You're really grasping the fundamentals here.
And for people to try to compare those or say that, oh, it's more of a comparison, that's just absolutely ridiculous and fanboy fodder. Demon's Souls, hands down, looks incredible, looks far better than anything we've seen, and we still have yet to see anything running officially new on the Xbox Series X, which is a big problem just going forward. I do think that what we're going to see going forward, we might see something sometime this week, but I don't know. But I do think that people that were sort of hoping that, you know, if you look at like Demon's Souls, for instance, some people were thinking 4K 60. All I have to do is point to any Souls game and say, look at the frame rate, look at the bad performance on that.
Runs fine on my PC. I don't know what your problem is, but I think it's funny he puts so much emphasis on Demon's Souls, which, if you know anything about Crapgamer, like, his name literally defines his skill at video games. The dude fucking sucks. Like, go watch any of his videos. He is absolutely garbage at whatever video game he plays. So this dude's literally hyping up this game like it's the second coming of Christ, and the motherfucker's probably not even gonna play this shit past the first level. But then again, I wouldn't be surprised if Sony added a games journalist mode to Demon's Souls. Like, I'm honestly kind of expecting that shit to happen.
The fact that you're gonna be able to get something at 1440p with 60 frames and ray tracing looking as good as that does, that is phenomenal. And that's not to say that they can't get more out of it. We don't really know what's exactly going to happen at the end of the day. That's what happens when you run like these kind of footage and stuff like that ahead of time. You don't really get an idea of what's going to be offered at launch. But
I mean, if anything, you usually get a downgrade on launch day, but I'm hoping not, because Demon's Souls and Godfall are literally the only two games I'm buying for the PlayStation 5, so I'm hoping they're going to be good, man. So hopefully I'm wrong, but if history tells us anything, the most common thing you get on launch day in the form of changes to the graphics is a downgrade.
But I do say, look, Demon's Souls looked far and ahead of better than anything we've seen from Microsoft. Microsoft showed Halo running on a high-end PC that was actually better spec'd up than the Xbox Series X, and it still looked like that. So there's not really any case of, you know, one thing over the other. I just thought it was very funny that people were kind of trying to knock this, but at the same time praising a 1440p machine.
You mean like at the start of the video, how you were knocking the Xbox's hard drive, but then praising a smaller hard drive from Sony? Kinda hypocritical, but, you know, wasn't there something you told everybody to do at the beginning of this video as well? What was it, man? I really just can't put my oh, yeah, it was this.
Keep that same energy. And also, you know, when we haven't actually seen anything running on a Series X that's new, and what we have I've seen in comparison, that Halo wasn't it. I'm just telling you. So if you do kind of look at stuff, even look at Bloodborne, that had terrible frame rates. Pretty much every Demon Souls game has had terrible frame rates.
Damn, bro, I must be missing out. Like, I didn't hear about Demon Souls 2 and 3, but yeah, I know what he meant. But this game isn't being developed by From Software. This is a completely different engine, too. So, you know, there's not really that excuse either.
And that's just a fact of an unoptimized, probably a pretty bad engine. So the fact that Bluepoint was able to remake this game and were able to hit this, you know, I think that's phenomenal. Not only that, but you have to also keep in mind that we aren't in the day and age where it's 1080p versus 720p anymore, folks. It's just not the same thing. It's not the same situation.
Well, technically, there's a bigger leap between 1440p and 4K than there was between 720p and 1080p, but I'm not going to get into the specifics here, but, you know, it's whatever's convenient to push today's narrative with this guy. You know, that's a very common trend with most console fanboys, to be honest.
Microsoft and Sony, it's not the same go-around as it was before. I know people don't want to hear that, and I'm sorry, but it's true. You know, it's true. There's not any kind of big correlation between, you know, 4K and 1440p. There's not a huge difference, even if that ends up being what a lot of people would say, I'll take the frame rate any day of the week. Native 4K is going to help you become a better gamer. So I think if you're one of those gamers that wants to be a better gamer, and we all want a GG, right? Like, let's be honest. We all want a GG. Keep that same energy. Otherwise, what are you talking about? That's what I kept hearing, was how frame rate matters most. So the PlayStation 5 will do 4K and 60. We've seen that with Call of Duty, with Dirt, with a lot of other games as well. So it's not like it can't do it. It's really up to developers and what they can do. I would rather personally, like, it's not my type of game, but from what I understand, frame rates on that being locked or pretty much 60 would be optimal choice.
This is how little he knows about technology or just video games in general. 60 FPS locked on any game is a better experience. It doesn't matter what genre, doesn't matter what perspective you're playing in. 60 frames per second should be the standard on these next generation consoles. The fact that it isn't in 2020 is a fucking problem.
Anyway, I will link all this stuff in the description below. Please let me know what you think. Take a minute to consider subscribing. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. I do daily content, unscripted, every single day. It is pretty good stuff.
Yeah, forgive me as I press X'd out on that shit. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this video today. If you did enjoy it, make sure to drop a like on it. Also, let me know in the comments if you like these longer videos. It seems like everybody is recently. Like, my channel's actually been doing really fucking well. And for the most part, it's been like an overwhelmingly positive response to these longer videos. So let me know in the comments. I really appreciate the feedback. But I guess the key takeaway here is, once again, Xbox bad, PlayStation 5 good. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, play on whatever the fuck you want to. If that's an Xbox, a PlayStation, a Nintendo Switch, your fucking cell phone, a PC, it doesn't matter, bro. It's a video game. It's not that deep. Have fun with this shit, and that's all that matters. But anyway, guys, with that said, I want to thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to check out this video and for all the recent support as well. You guys are the fucking best. Thank you all so much for the recent support on this channel. Like, for real, it's been doing insanely well, and I just really appreciate the fuck out of everybody who checks out these videos. So anyway, guys, with that sappy shit out of the way, I will catch you guys next time.